Hey everybody, I'm Marty Dodson. I'm here with Clay Mills in the SongTown studio.
All right.
We're back.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about 7 ways to get inspired. Because all of us have those days when we're just like, I don't feel like writing, or I just don't have anything I'm excited about today. So we're going to talk about some ways to fight against that. You ready?
Yes, because a lot of people say, well, I only write when I'm inspired. But what I think they miss out on is that you can get inspired every day.
Yeah.
Like creativity and ideas are all around you. So I like to start out 15 minutes in the morning, just kind of, I don't know how you do it, but I just kind of write out titles while my brain is still kind of in this sleep state, and write out titles and just see what I come up with, just free thinking, you know. That's one of the ways I do it.
Yeah. I'll sometimes challenge myself to find 5 ideas, and I'm not going to quit till I find 5 ideas I'm excited about or something like that, you know. And a lot of days I write those ideas.
You had a great exercise that we did at a workshop one time where you challenged everyone to come up with 3 things they wanted to say to someone in their life, whether it was someone that they know now or if it's someone that has passed away, but 3 things that they feel like they want to say to someone. And that was a great exercise because, man, there were some killer ideas that just made your jaw drop when you heard it, you know.
Absolutely. The second one, I think, is to work with people who inspire you. You know, when there's people that I write with that they'll throw out a melody and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I've got to bring my lyric writing up to the level of that melody, you know, or people that even just inspire me personally, bring great energy to the room.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of the ways that I stay inspired.
Yeah, and you want to have that mutual respect with people you work with. If you're in a situation where you feel superior to someone or they feel superior to you, then the songs are going to suffer. So it has to be people that you really dig what they're doing and they dig what you're doing.
Absolutely. What's number 3?
I think number 3 would be read great writers, whether it's Ernest Hemingway, Tom Wolfe. I used to love Tom Wolfe. Wow. Yeah, I mean, just having the language and the rhythm of the language in your mind. To me, that's just as important as the words.
Yeah.
But the rhythm and the flow of how great Edgar Allan Poe, wrote The Raven, and I was reading it the first time. I go, he could have been a songwriter.
Yeah.
Like it just had such a flow to it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great poetry is a great place to go. I even like to read quotes, you know, because quotes are there because they said something in a unique way. So I find a lot of inspiration there.
Unless it's a Hallmark card, and then it's said in a way it's been said many times before.
Exactly, yeah. Number 4 is keep your radar up, you know. Always be on the lookout for titles. You know, I've gotten titles in line at a coffee shop. I've gotten titles from a TV show or a movie. I've gotten titles from just talking to a friend, you know, and they say something unique. You know, so I think just having your radar up and being tuned in to inspiration all the time helps you find it more often and more regularly.
Yeah. I was trying to think. A friend of mine told a story the other night at a writer's round that he met a girlfriend that broke up a year ago, and they met up one night at a bar, just ran into each other. And she was saying, you know, getting over you was tough. And he was like, excuse me. And he like got on his phone, and she was mad. She didn't know what he was doing. He was writing down, if that was hard, you know, like try getting over you. You know, if you think that's hard, try getting over you. And he wrote the song, and I'm sure she wasn't happy that he was typing on his phone. But that's what we have to do as writers, because if we don't write it down, we're going to forget it.
Exactly.
You know?
Number 5, what you got?
So number 5 would be only write what you like. And what I mean by that is I listen to music that inspires me, and I write music that inspires me. That's the only criteria. You know, a lot of people go, oh, do you have to try to write commercial? Do you have to, you know, try to force yourself to be something else? And I've never taken that approach. I've always tried to do what I do and fit that into this greater scope of commerciality. But I would never change who I was. I just want to see how I can fit into the big picture.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Number 6 is try a new groove or feel or genre. I have been writing country music predominantly for about 25 years, but in the last 8 years, I've started experimenting with musical theater and with sync, and I've done some J-pop and K-pop.
You had a number one J-pop song, right? Or K-pop.
Yeah.
K-pop.
So it's fun. It inspires me to write something different, something that's outside of what I usually do.
Yes.
And so that's been really inspiring. And I've learned a lot in those other genres that I can bring back to country or whatever else I'm doing.
Yeah, in fact, if you're focusing on one genre, it's really great to listen to other genres so you can bring in something fresh. If all you're listening to is your genre, let's pick country. All you're listening to is 24/7 is country, and because that's what you want to write. Well, trust me, the biggest writers in country are pulling in influences from every other kind of music.
Yeah.
They're not spending their days only listening to their genre. We show up and write our genre every day, so we want to pull influences from somewhere else.
Absolutely. What's the last one? What's number 7?
Get back to your why.
Why?
MCA.
Why should you get back to your why?
Because I think a lot of times it's like a life. You're going on this journey, and it's easy to get astray, get off the path. And you have to figure out, well, what do I really care about? What's important to me? Why am I writing songs? Why did I start writing songs? For me, I started writing songs because I loved the music I was listening to when I was a kid, and I wanted to recreate that. I wanted to recreate and give that feeling to other people, so I can always fall back on that. And because it's hard, there's a lot of rejection. You write songs that nobody cares about for years, and then all of a sudden you write a song and it just starts opening doors and people know it around the world, and you're like, whoa, how, what just happened here? And then you're back to, okay, it could be another year or two of nothing happening, and then all of a sudden another song does something. So there's a lot of ups and downs. So if you're focused on, I've got to get 1 million streams, if that's your focus, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have goals, but it always has to come from a place of doing what you love and keep doing it for that reason as your base.
Yeah. I started writing because there was a girl up the street that went to my school that I thought was really cute, and I didn't know how to talk to her. So I would write songs to her that she never got to hear. And I would write songs. My dad had a drug addiction problem, and that was something that I felt like I didn't have a voice a lot of times in my family. So I could write these songs, and I had a voice in my songs.
That's the whole important thing to me when people go, oh, AI can do the music, or AI can write the lyric, or I'm like, what that is doing is taking away your voice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just said something that was very difficult for you to deal with as a kid, but your songwriting gave you a voice.
Yeah.
So just be careful. I'm not saying you can't use AI. There's a lot of good uses for AI, but if AI is doing the writing for you, it's not your voice.
Yeah.
So you have to decide, do you want to be a great writer, or do you want to just be a prompter that can eventually get an end product that you like? It's just like, what are you doing it for? Are you trying to express your feelings? Are you trying to get some hit and find a cheat code? But the thing is, not to get on AI, but if anyone can go to a site and get a good sounding track back, then what's going to make you special? Because anyone can do it. So the only thing that's going to make you special is becoming a great writer.
Yeah. And, when I get frustrated with the business, and I do go back to that why, I say, okay, why did you start writing songs in the first place? And it was to have that voice. And no one can take that away from me. I can do that every day, whether or not people are recording my songs. And I can find joy in that, just like I found joy in that in the beginning. and I didn't start trying to get gold records or songs on the radio, you know. So I think just keeping yourself grounded in what made you want to start writing songs, you know, is really important.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you appreciate the content, hit the subscribe button and help us grow. Shout out to Sweetwater Music. It's where Marty and I get all our musical gear. Great people. We'll see you guys around town. Right on.